Hi, I'm Lydia Atangcho, and I'm a fifth-year PhD student in Professor Greg Thurber's lab.
And I'm Zach Berquist, and I'm a third-year PhD student in Professor Andre Leonard's group.
And we are here to answer your questions about why Michigan.
So let's get started! All right. So first question about research here. How do you find an advisor?
So if you haven't been to Michigan yet, you haven't been to the department, you should go on our website and look at the lists of advisors there. They will be organized by research focus, so you can look at the research that you're interested in doing and see who's doing it. And then when you get a chance to visit Ann Arbor, you get to meet with the advisors, find out more about them. And then if you start as a first-year graduate student here, in the first month or two, you get to have meetings with the advisors that you're interested in and find out specifically what projects that they have, and then you can decide what lab to join that way.
Yeah, it's a really great process. The first few weeks that you're here, you get to interact with professors that you're interested in working for. You can talk to their labs, get to know their students, really understand their lab culture before you're making the final decision about which lab to join.
Yeah, and I'll add that it's really important to talk to the students. Like Zach said, it's important to get to know the graduate students that are already in the labs that you're interested in, because you want to make sure that it's a good personal fit in addition to a good research fit.
Mm-hmm. Second question is, what is Michigan Chemical Engineering's environment?
The environment in the department is definitely very collaborative, and it feels like a community. Whether or not you're co-advised, you are always free to visit other labs, ask if you can use instruments, ask for advice. For example, I've done a lot of chemistry in my research project, which I don't have a lot of background in, but there's another lab in the department that does a lot of chemistry. And so I frequently have gone to that lab and asked them for advice, asked them to use instruments, and they are always very open and also free to do the same to us, use our instruments, etc. So it's a very collaborative environment.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Constantly, we will get emails from other students in the department saying, there's free chemicals, or is there anyone who has this? And there's always responses. And also in the department, you typically always know someone in a lab. So if you ever need access to a certain lab's tool or instrument, it's very easy to get in contact with that lab and be able to use their instruments.
Yeah, and then in addition, outside of like research and using instruments, the environment is also, like I said, a community, which includes the professors. So we have a program now called Grad Chats, which is a monthly chat with students and professors, so that we can really get to know the professors as well and really feel like a true community with them included.
Yeah, I think the last point I want to make is that there's also a social club for the graduate students that has all these social events. So there's really a great social culture in addition to a great work culture here in our department. Okay, are Michigan Chemical Engineering first year graduate students more competitive or collaborative?
So as we said, it's definitely more collaborative. I think that depending on where you went for undergrad, you might have felt a lot more competitive with your peers, trying to get the best grades. But when you come in as a first year graduate student, you're all taking the same classes. They're very challenging classes, and you really will rely on your peers to help you get through it. And so I found that when I came in, I quickly got a group of people to do homework with, to study with. We were all kind of in it together, and those people became my friends. And so, I was able to kind of develop my social life as well. So it's definitely more collaborative than competitive.
Yeah, I think in undergrad there tends to be this competition between even you and your friends. I know it was almost to the point where sometimes people wouldn't be very willing to give away, or not give away, but talk about homework assignments or anything like that. But in graduate school, it is completely different. They really hammer home the idea that we're all in this together. If my classmates do better, then I have a chance to do better in my research. That makes Michigan chemical engineers better, and they're more respected if we're all better and more well equipped. So again, completely collaborative, especially during the first year with working with classes. It's really a change of scenery. It's very different than anything I've ever been associated with.
Yeah, I would agree. And I'll just add that Michigan Chemical Engineering is a department where if you're accepted into the program wants you to succeed. So they don't have a quota for like they want to cut a certain number of people. Mm-hmm. If you're here, you are wanted to succeed, and so you don't have to worry about competing with your peers for spots.
Yeah. There's only 10 A's in this class.
Yeah.
It's awesome. R. Oh no, there's two. Are interdepartmental collaborations available for Michigan Chemical Engineering graduate students?
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, okay. So the answer is a definite yes. I know specifically for my project, I am working with the Descripta group in the mechanical engineering department. But more so than that, one of the great things about the University of Michigan is that it is a top 5 ranked graduate engineering research university, which means that there are plenty of opportunities around campus to get really high quality researchers collaborating with you on your project. So this doesn't matter if you're interested in energy or materials or biology, you're always going to have access to really high quality researchers.
Yeah, I think that our department and all the other departments in the college really believe that collaboration is the best way to do the best research. And so there are a lot of programs within the college that are geared toward people from different departments coming together and collaborating. I personally haven't had a collaboration with a department here outside of chemical engineering, but I have had the opportunity to collaborate with a department in another university, which is another opportunity that you can have here because our professors are, they really value a scientific community where people in all fields and across universities are working together to advance, whatever it is. And so I've been able to work with a department in another university in my research, which has been great. So there's a lot of opportunity for collaboration.
Yeah, it's pretty constant too. I know, again, me specifically, I got an email from a student in the electrical engineering department here just about a month ago asking for a sample. It's just that easy. So it's very open in this university to just email someone from another department and ask for help. Mm-hmm. Last question. Are industrial and government partnerships available for Michigan Chemical Engineering graduate students?
There are. So there's a couple different ways that you can have these types of partnerships. So one, your advisor can develop a relationship with a industrial representative. So for example, in my lab, we do research in pharma. And so my advisor has some relationships with some people at different pharmaceutical companies. And so people in my lab have been able to do research in direct collaboration with those pharma companies. There are also programs and fellowships that you can apply to that are specifically meant to give you industry experience working at a company. So there's one, for example, that's in biotechnology. If you apply for that program and you get into it, that guarantees you a summer internship at a company. So there's definitely lots of opportunity for partnerships that way.
And as for government partnerships, my project is funded by the Department of Energy. So I'm constantly working with the DOE to help meet deadlines and also meet deliverables. Also, there's another student in my lab who is in direct contact with automotive companies because he's working on catalytic converters. Those are just two examples, but it's all across the department where there's industrial and government partnerships.
Yep.
All right. Nice
all right. So the next set of questions is going to be more about student life. So the first question is, what is the city of Ann Arbor like?
Ann Arbor is a relatively small college town. It's about 100,000 people, but unlike other small college towns that might seem vacant in the summer, Ann Arbor has stuff going on all year, including the summer. In fact, I think the summer is the best time. In the summer, there's so many awesome events to do. There's Arts Fest and Top of the Park and the car show. The list goes on and on.
Yeah, Ann Arbor is great. One of my favorite times of year, in addition to summer, is the fall during football season. it's just so amazing to be in a town where the town revolves around the university. And so on football Saturdays, everybody's in their Michigan gear, everybody's, tailgating, getting ready for games, whether or not you're going to the game. It's just an amazing atmosphere to be in.
Yeah, and one thing to point out is that even if you're not a fan of football, it's still just an awesome atmosphere to be a part of. I'm personally not even a Michigan football fan. Went to Penn State, but it's just an awesome town to be in the fall. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, next question is, what extracurricular activities do Michigan chemical engineering graduate students participate in outside of research?
So I know I mentioned previously that there's a club for the department for the graduate students, and there's plenty of social events and career events that take place. So I know specifically there's ice cream socials, bar nights, laser tag, kayaking. These are all events that the department helps pay for so that we get to do these things for free. It also fosters a great social environment, and that's once again why we have such a great atmosphere here in the department.
Yep, and outside of the department, there's a lot of activities that you can get involved in. I came to Michigan and got really into fitness and lifting, and so I joined a gym here in Ann Arbor that other chemical engineering students in the department were also part of. There's a big climbing community here, a big biking community, a big Latin and ballroom dancing community that a lot of people in the department, including professors, are really interested in. So I'd say that whether you already have kind of your interest before coming here or you want to find something new, there's so much in Ann Arbor that you can be part of. So there's a lot of extracurricular activities.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome being outside Ann Arbor in the summer. There's floating down the river. I know there's the Upper Peninsula in Michigan is one of the most beautiful places that you can visit in the entire country. Graduate students consistently make trips up there. So that's another awesome place to go.
Yeah, I definitely say that being someone that's not from Michigan, I didn't realize how underrated Michigan as a state is.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful.
But yeah, one last thing. We also do intramural sports. So there's numerous sports that the university offers for intramurals, and there's always a chemical engineering team, chemical engineering graduate team in those sports, and we are shockingly good, actually.
We've won several championships. So
Right.
All right, next question. What are the housing options for Michigan chemical engineering graduate students?
Yeah, I think I had an abnormal experience with this. Whenever I came here for the first year, I lived in a house with 4 other students in this department that were also first years. And we live right next to campus, and it's great because living next to campus for your first year is really helpful as you're going to classes and you kind of want to be close. So that's kind of why we chose that option. But other than that, there's houses near campus, there's on-campus housing, there's apartments, you can live in town. There's just plenty of options if you want. If you want to be in town, close to stuff, far away, cheaper.
Yeah, I think that Zach did it right in that he found other first-year graduate students that were coming and then found housing with them. I didn't think that far ahead, and so when I came here, I knew I wanted to live a little bit further away from North Campus because I just wanted to, know that when I was going home, I was kind of leaving campus. And so I found other Ann Arborites to live with in an apartment near South Campus, near the stadium. And then once I got here, I quickly made friends within the department. And so the following year, we got a house together that was just south of downtown, which I really loved because I love being able to walk to downtown. And I've lived in lots of other places. So there's one year I really wanted to live closer to campus. And so I moved a little bit closer to campus. Now I live more kind of on the west side, which is more residential and quiet as I'm like finishing out my PhD here. So there's lots of different options. I think I would definitely recommend if you know that you're coming here to start looking for housing early because the housing market is, it's really hard to find a house the later that you look. So I think we will have some resources available for incoming students to find other incoming students to live with. And so look out for that if you're coming to Michigan.
Yeah, I'm not close to finishing my PhD, so I'm moving into town. So I'm still trying to not be somewhere quiet right now. Yeah.
All right. So the last question is Michigan chemical engineering right for me?
The answer is a resounding yes. Michigan is absolutely the right school for me. I was so excited to come here. The reason I chose Michigan is because it's a large university with a huge alumni base. It's close to home. I'm a Midwest guy at heart. It's a top tier research university. Also, there's just perception in industry that Michigan makes really good engineers.
I would say yes as well. I'm finishing out my PhD in the next few months and reflecting on my time here. I'd say that I couldn't imagine having gone anywhere else. I've been able to grow as a researcher, as a scientist. I've met some lifelong friends here. I adopted a dog here who is the best thing ever.
True.
And I've been able to, I'm thinking about my future career now. And so I've been able to make amazing connections. Michigan has the largest alumni network of any university. And so that has been amazing in, thinking about what I'm going to do next. I mean, Michigan has just changed my life and I can't imagine having gone anywhere else. All right.
Well, I hope that made you excited for Michigan chemical engineering.
Yeah. So we hope that you learned something new and got some answers to your questions. And last but not least,
Go blue!